Holly Pierpoint, an accomplished professor in her 40s, is en route to a Colorado Springs conference. Her husband, Russell, proposes a vacation, but she feigns exhaustion and secretly heads to Aspen. Her lie is exposed when she's mistaken for Mrs. Allen at the hotel reception. Dave, a hotel employee, guides her to the Black Diamond suite, supposedly reserved by Mr. Allen. Holly's affair becomes evident, disregarding potential consequences. Dave, newly married, seeks marriage advice, which Holly uncomfortably provides. Later, she finds an envelope, leading her to another mysterious message, adding intrigue to her secret weekend getaway. Holly found an envelope on the sink, containing a message from her presumed boyfriend. He urged her to open a surprise in the closet, suggesting she wear a blindfold for an extra adventurous experience. She opened the box to find a lingerie set and a pair of handcuffs. Holly embraced the moment, willingly engaging in the excitement. She donned the lingerie and blindfolded herself, securing the handcuffs to the bed's headboard. However, the next person to enter the room was someone different, not her boyfriend. Their encounter was intense, with Holly initially enjoying the passion until it became too rough. Despite Holly's pleas, the man continued, leaving her in tears. He departed the room and entered the living area, revealing himself to be Holly's husband, Russell. He had apprehended Everett Allen, Holly's 27-year-old boyfriend and former student. Russell sternly instructed Everett not to tell Holly anything, to remain silent and confined to the room, and to ensure that Holly did not leave either. Failure to comply would result in severe consequences for Everett's wife, Lydia, and his daughter, Jessica, who were currently under Russell's control. After placing a phone in Everett's pocket, Russell left, leaving Everett alone with Holly, who remained in shock from the mistreatment she had endured. After Everett releases her from the handcuffs, Holly explodes in anger, directing her frustration at him, oblivious to her husband's involvement. Despite Everett's sincere apologies, Holly is adamant about leaving. Suddenly, Everett gets a call from Russell, who warns him not to let Holly go or face dire consequences. Apologizing profusely, he convinces her to stay. Everett desperately seeks forgiveness from Russell, who, after discovering their 6-month affair via bank withdrawals, insists that Everett continues the vacation with Holly. He makes it clear that if Holly leaves or if the police are called, he'll harm Everett's wife, Lydia, whose muffled voice can be heard on the phone. Desperate to cover up Russell's actions, Everett starts offering excuses to justify the situation. Amid their conversation, Holly receives a call from Russell, coinciding with a distracting knock at the door. Dealing with a security guard due to a noise complaint, Everett becomes occupied, allowing Holly to converse with Russell. During this call, Holly discovers that Russell is aware of her affair. Instead of confrontation, Russell enlightens her about the danger she unknowingly faces. He paints Everett as a dangerous person with a history of affairs that often end with women mysteriously disappearing. Initially denying the accusations of infidelity, Holly ultimately decides to follow Russell's instructions, which involve discreetly leaving the hotel without Everett's knowledge. After the call ends, Everett questions their conversation, and Holly claims it was just a check-in from her husband. To keep her confined to the suite, Everett offers her a massage while taking away her phone. Restless and eager to leave, Holly abruptly stands up, pretending she needs a shower to wash off the oils, attempting to take her phone to the bathroom, but Everett grabs it first, leaving her empty-handed. With no other options, Holly rushes to the bedroom balcony, calling out for help, but her screams go unnoticed. Russell appears to be toying with them, instructing his wife to flee while ordering Everett to keep Holly inside the hotel. Meanwhile, a faint thud on the door grabs Everett's attention. Ignoring Russell's directive, Everett leaves the room to investigate, and in response, Russell sends him a chilling photo of Lydia with a knife against her throat. In a desperate plea for Lydia's life, Everett implores Russell, who then instructs him to check the bedroom balcony. Everett breaks through the door, only to find Holly innocently freshening up in the bathroom. It's at this moment that Holly realizes the person who would go to such extremes over a minor delay is potentially far more dangerous than she initially thought. Upon Everett's return to the living room, he receives a message from Holly's number, revealing that Russell has taken control of her phone. Russell threatens to harm Lydia by removing one of her fingers for every action Holly takes, and he has placed sleeping pills on the table, instructing Everett to drug Holly. Desperate to uncover Russell's surveillance method, Everett searches for hidden cameras, while Holly retrieves her sleeping medication to drug him. Soon, Everett arranges a balcony table, offering a drugged drink, but Holly insists on white wine. As Everett momentarily fetches the requested wine and adds sleeping pills to it, Holly seizes the chance to do the same to his glass. However, when Everett steps outside and they're about to sip their drinks, a knock at the door interrupts them. Everett grabs a knife and investigates, only to find Dave delivering their food order. After Dave leaves with a tip from Holly, the couple begins to eat their dinner, which consists of a simple rare steak. During the meal, their conversation becomes critical as they blame each other for initiating their relationship, despite both being married. Their conversation abruptly halts with another knock at the door and a message on Everett's phone. Russell reveals Holly's attempt to signal Dave to call 911, and due to Everett's oversight, Russell sends a gruesome warning. He has received his wife's severed ring finger. While Everett is still in shock, Holly attempts to seduce him but ends up holding a knife to his throat, aiming to uncover his true intentions. Thinking on his feet, Everett pretends to embrace her, signaling to Russell that they're merely kissing. Everett exposes her husband's involvement in the abduction of his own family and the elaborate scheme he orchestrated as punishment. Amid their conversation, the effects of the drugs gradually take hold, causing them to lose consciousness. Upon awakening, Everett finds himself clutching a syringe on the bed, while Holly remains handcuffed in the living room. Accusing Everett of being a deranged serial killer, Holly warns him that Russell will summon the police to stop his actions. As Everett returns to the bedroom, he's shocked to find Russell gagged and tied to a chair. Desperate to uncover the truth and save his family, he tries to question Russell, but with his tongue severed, Russell can't provide answers. Everett hands him a pen and paper, urging him to write down the responsible party's name. Later, he frees Holly from the handcuffs, but she continues to accuse him, intensifying his frustration. Holly is brought to the bedroom to see her dying husband strapped to the wheelchair. Tearfully, she questions Everett's actions, but he insists he's not responsible for Russell's death. Holly helplessly watches her husband succumb to the injection found in Everett's hand. She discovers a note in Russell's hand but keeps its contents concealed. Soon, Everett receives a call from the real mastermind behind the torment, their voice distorted to hide their identity. This figure delivers an ultimatum. Only one of the lovers can check out of the hotel and return to their family life. The other will meet a grim fate at the hands of their partner. The choice is theirs. The killer reveals that Holly's daughter, Chelsea, is under constant surveillance, with her roommate Sammy complicit in their sinister plan. Holly is warned that any disobedience could endanger Chelsea with a single command. As Everett ponders his next move, Holly unfolds a note, finding the word "safe" written on it. Before she grasps its meaning, Everett menacingly approaches her with a knife, intent on ending her life to ensure his return to his family. Their encounter is briefly interrupted by hotel staff, diverting Everett's attention. Taking advantage of the moment, Holly opens the hidden safe, recalling a conversation with her husband about their home's sprinkler system code. She successfully unlocks the safe but finds only a storage card, leaving her perplexed. Meanwhile, hotel management and security inquired about the missing staff member, Dave. Everett denies knowledge of his disappearance, but security insists on questioning Holly further. Realizing they must cooperate for their family's sake, Everett convinces Holly to talk to the authorities. After convincingly addressing the manager's inquiries, Holly is finally alone with Everett again. Suspicion lingers regarding his involvement in their ordeal, prompting Holly to confront him about his potential role. Everett explains that the severed finger of his wife sent earlier as a punishment was a consequence of his failure to follow Russell's rules. Despite seeing the gruesome evidence, Holly remains skeptical, highlighting that Everett could have killed her had the security guards not intervened. In defense of his actions, Everett discloses that he was driven by the necessity to provide for his family. He also admits that Russell was the one who mistreated Holly earlier and established the rules, promising that if they complied and stayed in the room without revealing anything, they would be allowed to leave in the morning. As Everett attempts to approach Holly and persuade her, a tragic accident unfolds. The knife unintentionally stabs him in the abdomen, causing severe and uncontrollable bleeding. Despite the dire situation, Everett realizes he cannot break the rules and seek medical help, as his family remains in the clutches of the killer. In his final moments, he implores Holly not to reveal their affair to his wife and daughter. As Holly offers words of comfort, Everett gradually succumbs to his wounds and passes away. Suddenly, Everett's phone rings, prompting Holly to answer. The mastermind behind the scheme congratulates her for being one step away from freedom. To secure her release, she must destroy the phone in the microwave for 30 seconds. Afterwards, she faces two choices. She can leave the hotel immediately, or if she desires answers to the killer's motives, she can visit room 513. The killer assures her safety and promises her eventual freedom. Following the instructions, she retrieves the room key from her deceased husband's pocket. After destroying the phone in the microwave, Holly opts to visit room 513 in search of the truth. Upon entering, she discovers surveillance monitors capturing her every move. While exploring the room, she comes across a bound and blindfolded woman, Lydia, Everett's wife. Holly reassures Lydia of her safety, delaying questions about Everett's whereabouts. Instead, she's drawn to a monitor displaying the memory card she found in the safe. As she views the CCTV footage, shock washes over her when she sees Russell setting up the cameras, with Lydia behind him. The truth dawns on Holly, but it's too late. Lydia stands ominously behind her, poised for confrontation. Lydia, the mastermind behind the twisted plan, confesses to her creation and her collaboration with Russell for revenge. Lydia confesses to being the mastermind behind the disappearance of Everett's previous girlfriends, driven to the edge by his obsession with Holly. This unbearable reality pushed her over the edge. To Holly's horror, she discovers Dave's lifeless body, evidence of Lydia's ruthless actions. It becomes clear that Lydia also killed Russell, possibly due to a disagreement over her plan to eliminate Everett and Holly. Russell, however, only aimed to torment Holly and catch her in the act. They witness hotel management entering the Diamond Suite and discovering the gruesome murders. It's at this moment that Lydia points out Holly's fingerprints all over the suite, including on the syringe, the tool used to sever Russell's tongue, and even the knife that killed Dave. With the memory card as the last piece of evidence, Lydia maliciously destroys it, flushing it down the toilet. With no way to prove her innocence, Holly loses control. The weight of her past mistakes and her shattered family consume her, leading to an outburst of anger. She hurls a vase at Lydia's head, abruptly ending her life. The movie ends with Holly contemplating her fate as two security guards forcefully enter the room, demanding her surrender.